so I get the lighting all correct before we hit the live button, so people can see my ugly mug. But Zach, yeah, but she's a she does she does pretty good investigating celebrity. I like her. I found her like a year ago, 2 years ago. But no, she does pretty good work. And that person's name, that survivor's name is Allie Carter. Allycarter. Carter. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, Zach, wasn't it? It was yeah, so yeah. You know how it is. How was your day today? I went fishing today, Zach. I caught like three or four small ones. They're small little bass. Then I seen my fucking Moby Dick, man. That motherfucker was huge. It's a huge ass largemouth bass, Zach. He had to be about as big as me. He fucking swam. Okay, he wasn't as big as me, but he was fucking big, Zach. And he swam. I was sitting there paddling my kayak trying to get to this one area where I know there's some fucking good, nice size ones there. And fucking, I looked down in the water and that motherfucker, oh, that was fucking huge. That's huge. I was like, it's gonna be my Moby Dick. I'm gonna try to get that motherfucker. Zach. Oh God, but it was cold. It was windy as shit on the fucking water today. I only spent like 2 hours out there. I didn't spend that long. It was cold. It was cold as shit. What's up, Steve? Steve's up in the house and shit. Zach's getting up in here. Oh shit, we're live. Damn, Zach, you hit the fucking live. When did you hit the live button on me? Motherfucker. What do you mean it was me? Good evening, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight, man? I hope y'all had a good day. Let's see here, Zach. Let's go through everybody and see who we got. It's got Tony up in here. Connie's up in here. Michelle's up in here. Jennifer, good evening. Craig. Yes, I did. I noticed that you sent me a link of you singing fucking with the Asian people last night. And, Craig. Lily, good evening. How are you doing? Garrett, what's up? Hello. BJ1776. Hello. Tammy, good evening. How are you? Tony, hello. Jennifer, good evening. Foam, what's up? Jess, what's going on, Jess? Steve, good evening. Tom, good to see you too. That is right, Tony. It is 420. You know who was born on 420 though? Hitler. Hitler was born on 420. What's up, fat man? How are y'all doing? I'm glad I'm getting there, y'all. Just trust yourselves. Bougie, how are you? As above, so below. Good evening. All fishermen are lying except you and me. That's right, Tom. That's right. Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, I know there's a tunnel entrance about 55 minutes away from me.
Oh, you do? Oh, wow. From what we just watched earlier. No, just a few minutes ago. Wow, that's fucking crazy. What's up? Hawk! What's up, brother? Hey, Virginia. Hold on. Let me go ahead and do this, Zach. I need to put this thing on there. Yes, Hawk. Good evening, brother. Good evening to you too. I need to go ahead and wrench you though. You have not been wrenched yet. Well, he hasn't been in here on 15 yet, I don't think. So that's why he hasn't been wrenched yet. There he goes. He's wrenching out now. He got the wrench. Miguel, what's going on? Good to see you. I think I put the thing in there. Did I put it in there? The stream thingy? Link thingy? Verti. No, Elizabeth. Good evening. Elizabeth Sutherland. I wonder if she's related to Keith Sutherland. Hawk. Yeah, brother.
Wait a second. Let me get this thing muted. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
What's going on, people?
Not much. I just got done showing Zach a video. It was what's his name? Stu
Peters.
Stu Peters. Thank you. Yep, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, yep. Stu Peters, and he was just interviewing Allie Carter.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And I was showing
amazing,
Zach.
Isn't she?
Yeah, the survivor. I was just showing Zach that and she was getting down, but it was talking about Mr. Potato Head, Barack, Big Mike. I mean Michelle Obama. And let's see here, Akon, Too Short, and who was the other one? Steven Tyler, I think she said. And she was like, that's just a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I don't know if Zach had ever heard about her yet or no, you know. So
Yeah.
me and Zach were backstage and I was playing it for him and he was just mind was blown because the school's involved, the fucking foster care is involved, the actual child protection services are involved in it. Hell, even the sheriff is involved in it, and your local cops are involved in it and everything.
Yep.
You know, so she's like, it's not only the elite you have to worry about, but it's the motherfuckers that are picking up your garbage that you have to worry about too, because they're all sick.
Yeah, there's a in a way you can say that is in its own form a pandemic. You know, and Allie Carter's story is it for those of you in chat, if you don't know who this girl is, I would suggest
Go look her
watching
up.
every video about her that you possibly can. Because I have a feeling that she is going to be one of the forefront people coming forward and really talking about you know, she's a face to that particular pandemic.
Oh, she
You
breaks
know.
it down.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead, Zach.
By the way, she admitted that Trump isn't involved. Thank goodness.
Yep. She even said that he was the one that's actually helping funding to help get rid of it.
Well, that was his first executive order.
Yes, that's what she said too. She said that too.
Was child trafficking, and then he went after the sex traffickers and then go after the adults. So there were 3 consecutive executive orders regarding that. That was one of the main reasons why he wanted the southern border closed. You know, it wasn't just the drugs that were coming in, but it was the children that were coming in. Children that are taken in the United States are taken overseas. Okay. And children from overseas are brought to the United States. Okay. They don't know anybody. They don't know the cities. They don't know the areas. You know, basically their education stops. Most of them become drug addicts, you know, because they're introduced to drugs from a very young age. And it's a mess. It really is, you know. And the thing is it's something that a lot of people don't want to have a conversation about because it's a very tough conversation. As a parent, that is a very tough conversation because of the fact that you look at your kids and you're like, well, my kids are at home, you know. Well, you know, listen, a lot of people's kids were at home, you know, and then they went to school or they were at the park, or they were staying at a friend's house and they snuck out in the middle of the night, and then boom, you know, situations happen. You know, and then you hear about the parents who actually sell their children into it. That's a really tough one. What's her name?
Allie.
No. There was a reporter who just did Laura Logan. Just did a spot with LT from And We Know, and she was talking about these 2 particular girls that were recovered and were going through the process of relearning, you know, and things. But she had interviewed them at an earlier time when they were still in captivity, and she said, you know, she says, so what's going to happen tonight? And the kids just looked at her and said, we're going to be raped again and again and again. And she didn't know how to handle that, you know. When you begin to understand the complexity of it and understand, you know, it's like the crazy thing was she was saying that, you know, that the parents basically sold the child into slavery in order to provide for the rest of the children in the household, you know, to be able to save their homes or whatever, you know. And the only thing that these same kids want is just to see their moms.
Hey, if I can interject here real quick. Jeremy, Zach, Hawk, hello, first of all.
Hello.
Good to see you guys. Second, Jeremy, Zach, you guys got some lazy ass people in chat. There's 52 watching and only 26 likes. What the hell, people? Hit that like button.
Oh, it's all good. I ain't worried about all that.
Show some love. I mean, look, Jeremy's trying to get all nice and pretty. He's got his compact mirror out.
Oh, the way you had your hand when you were sitting back, the
Yeah.
little
It's
window.
a lighter. It's a
No,
lighter.
but-
It's just
but the-
green. It's the
but
same
when-
as my green
Listen,
screen.
listen. If you spin your chair just a little bit and bring your arm down, you see the round window.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like you were holding up a compact mirror.
Oh, yeah.
That little round window in the that you see the little it did. So I knew exactly what he's talking about as soon as he said it.
I see what he's talking about. Go ahead, Zach. You guys are so clever.
I tried to have a conversation about this to someone, and she's definitely confused because she thinks trafficking is a part of the sex industry.
Doesn't have to be. Not 100%. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot of people think that, they think that it's, this is the thing. I mean, you think about hookers that are on the street, 80% of them have pimps. It's the same thing, it's just another form of trafficking. Back in the old days, if you think about when prostitution was, it's the oldest profession in the world.
Yep.
But it's one thing if it's an adult deciding to do it, free choice, where it comes to children, and especially the younger women, that are, preteen or teens, they get tricked into it. They get duped into it. There's so much abuse, and the drug abuse that goes on is the biggest systemic thing. And they use the drugs as a cover in which to traffic. They use it's fucking crazy. There's nothing that's traded around the world that doesn't have to do with human existence.
Well,
Being
Allie Carter was even talking about in the video that I was just showing back with the interview with Stu Peters, that she says that these tunnel systems are so complex, everybody, that they go from actually underneath the schools to underneath the graveyard to up under to national monuments to right up to some of these freaking elites like basements. She was gone to Buckingham Palace and came back, and she was sitting there trying to tell social workers and everything about her being sex trafficked, and the social workers are sitting there telling her, you need to shut up and be quiet, or we're going to ship you to Arizona and no one will ever find you again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's one of the things, but understand, it's not every person involved with CPS. It's not, so some of those social workers are actually there to try and do their job, and to try and help the children and everything else. It's not everybody, but in most cases it is the higher ups. And there are lower agents that are involved that, take advantage of these types of situations. It's a serious conversation to have. It really is. But if people aren't receptive of it and willing to listen, and to understand that these things are existent, then nothing can be done about it. I know quite a few people who were sex trafficked. I was in that CPS system. It wasn't CPS at that time. It was DCYS is what they called it, the Department of Children and Youth Services. The United Way was involved. Other organizations such as the United Way, their objective is to get you placed in a position where these things can occur. At the same time, there are hospital type settings where this goes on as well. Uh, state hospitals, drug rehabilitation centers, things like that. And it's easy for them just to say, "Oh, well, your teenager ran off." They ran away. They ran away, and there's no protections. It's not like your kid has a tracking device in them, or the teenager doesn't have a tracking device.
Cell phones don't count.
And cell phones don't count. Because your phone would be passed off to somebody else, and text would be sent to people and things like that would generally direct them in another direction, and then the phones are basically destroyed, and that's pretty much the end of the child. The recovery of the mind and the body and the soul of the child, that is a primary concern. Because when these children are recovered from the trafficking situation that they're in, there needs to be God-led people
for rehabilitation.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to work on the spiritual nature as well as on the physical nature, in hopes of recovering them. Because the anger that comes with all of that can last and can be systemic for years and years and years. It's. I remember, I've told you this before. I think it was, the reason that I joined the Marine Corps was because I wanted to learn how to kill. I wanted to learn how to kill. I was going to go back and I was going to kill every one of those motherfuckers, every single one of them. Excuse my French, and just I've been trying not to swear. I've been doing so good too.
French is actually that word.
It's
from a Latin word.
I've been doing really good about cutting back on the cussing, and I'm trying to get better even, but. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And the more people that become aware of it, more conversations that start because of it, the more aware your neighbors become, the more aware your community becomes, the more aware your county becomes, the more aware your state becomes, and then more aware the country, comes. And that's what we need. I know many young women who were sex kittens, is what they called them. They were passed,
I would be one of them.
They were passed around in the sex club scene, whether it was through.
There was no such thing as a word now.
Whether it was through the sex clubs themselves, like Portland, Oregon has its own sex club. It's called Club Sesso. It's run by Ron Jeremy.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. We had a dispensary, right? It was a dispensary club where people could come in and smoke if they were in the downtown section. Basically, we didn't want them coming into the dispensary, picking up cannabis, and then going out on the street and doing it. We gave them a lounge type atmosphere in which to consume anytime that they were downtown. Even, they could come in with their own, or we would give them some when they got there. And it keeps them off of the streets and off of the sidewalks doing it, so kids can go by and there's not somebody standing there smoking a joint or a bowl or something right there on the sidewalk or in an alley and everything else. It was the idea of giving them a safe space to go in and consume their medicine and then be able to get on with their day. And Club Sesso was right next door, and they got really mad at us because we opened our doors, for the type of traffic that we had coming in, because the odor was getting into their club and they thought that the feds were going to come in and raid us. And then we realized that it wasn't about us. They were afraid that the feds were going to go in and raid them.
Okay. Now when you say, okay, forgive me here, because I live out here in North Carolina in the East Coast in the middle of fucking nowhere, okay? Mm-hmm. In the Bible Belt, okay? Moore County is a fucking Bible Belt. There's churches all over the place. Sorry, Lord, I know I'm cussing. Sorry about that. Now, when you say sex club, okay, are you talking about like nightclub type of deal, but only it's sex?
Okay, so the building has a dance floor area. It has a bar area. It has a dining area.
Right.
But it also has rooms that people can just walk into.
Let me interject to somebody who was
it
a
was a-
kitten in that group. Okay.
Three-
You walk into this club and there's a medium BDSM going on to your right hand side. On the left hand side, there's a bar. You continue going straight, there's a food bar. After that, there's 5 more rooms. Every single one of these rooms has doors on it. Okay. Now you go ahead and you walk 10 feet past the bar and you go straight to the right. Far as you can go, there's 2 bathrooms, male and female. There's 2 showers in each of them. You go upstairs. Okay. There is what is called the fish bowl. That is where all the orgies happen. Okay. There are 6 more rooms upstairs, including a stripper's pole. Okay. Another one of those rooms is called the globe room. Why? Because it is surrounded by glass. There is your graphic detail of that sex club.
And people stand around outside of the room and watch whatever is going on inside.
Yep.
I'm not kidding, dude. This is for real shit.
Like that's why I asked, because there ain't well, to my knowledge, there ain't no shit like that around here. You know what I mean? Maybe up in Raleigh or something, or maybe up in
guaranteed Raleigh,
like that.
Raleigh, Charlotte,
Yeah,
a couple other towns that I could name,
like Greensboro, maybe Wilmington, because Wilmington is starting to be a big movie. A lot of movies and TV shows have been filmed out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Maybe up in Boone, because there's a lot of Democrats up in there. But I mean, where I'm at, you just don't hear about that stuff in my area. I mean, you don't hear about those type of clubs. That's why when I hear this stuff and I'm like, what, really? You know, because it's just, I'm serious. I live in the Bible Belt. I'm surrounded by woods, and everything,
Yeah, go ahead, Zach. I see your hand up there. Sorry.
Now I really want to run because I want to stop this shit.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing is, it's being exposed now. But the part of the problem is that the community around these places allow this to go on too. They're like, well, I'd rather have it go on there than be in my direct neighborhood or something like that. And so it's like, live and let live, baby. Live and let live. No, there's a certain point where we as human beings have to really start standing up and acting up and putting a stop to it. Jess can tell you, I brought her out here. I brought other people that were involved in that same trade out here.
And for the record, I've never prostituted or anything like that. It
was the situation that she was placed in.
Right.
It wasn't. She wasn't getting paid for it.
Right.
It was a force because basically there's the word no is not allowed.
You say no, you're gonna get your ass handed to you.
Yeah,
literally.
you get beat. And the thing is they have no problem.
They have
no problem with beating you.
No
bloody.
is in your vocabulary. Is not in the vocabulary.
No, it's gone. No. It's gone.
Yeah.
Even if they brought you food,
unless the only no is KNOW, like yes, I know. Like that's correct. The only no that's evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Allowed.
The first time you turn down food, the second time they come in, they bring you dog food. Because they know you're getting hungry.
Yep.
And they'll keep bringing you dog food, and that's the only. Worse and worse. And it's not kidding.
Okay. Well, hold on 1 second, Crystal. You had something to say right quick, and then we'll go back to it because this is good topic. We need to get information like this out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it's on that one. Paul, wasn't Hugh Hefner? Wasn't he a big part of that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, but at the same time, he was also CIA.
Yeah, he's crooked bastard anyway.
That's the thing is a lot of these guys are they play 2 roles. They play 2 roles. Upper echelon in the military. I've seen shit going on, back in the day, where military officers and stuff were involved as well. It's there was a point that
That's very true.
yeah, anti-adjack. That is correct. It's not always a club scene. A lot of times it is houses or and switching houses. Absolutely, they constantly keep moving. It's the same thing that they do with so many of the priests and stuff. They own houses everywhere so that they can constantly move. It's like having a safe house for somebody who's who's in the resistance, kind of thing. But it's at the same time there is uh, there's just a super dark element surrounding it. It's like the house was vacant for a year and a half, 2 years, and then all of a sudden there's people there for a couple of months, and then boom, the house is empty again. Go ahead.
No. I sent Doc a message and I was just saying thanks. I'll look.
Hey, Doc.
for it. Yeah.
Oh, Doc Mac, right on, brother.
Yeah, Doc
How you
Mac.
doing,
Yeah,
brother?
I sent him an email and he just said he responded. So I'll just have to go in and look for it. It's all good though. Yeah.
So one of the clues to me about the tunnels was directly underneath the club that I had in Portland, and I was there for a little over a year, and then I moved on. I moved on.
Right.
Boy, am I glad I did too. But going down into the basement was the entrance to the Shanghai tunnels of Portland. And the Shanghai tunnels are for real. Basically, the club that we had back in the day, people would get clubbed over the head, or they would get so drunk that
That's
the
what I
girls
heard.
would take them upstairs, and then as soon as the rest of the crowd left, they would drag the bodies down through the tunnels, take them out on the ships. They would wake up the next day in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Literally Shanghai.
Okay, you have a choice. Either you can work or we can just throw you overboard. It wasn't, it wasn't the idea of, oh, okay, well, we'll drop you off at the next port. No, you became no different than an indentured servant. It's like looking at the slave trade of old. So many people don't know there were actually more white slaves than there were black slaves. There were more black slaves,
Irish.
or there were more black slave owners than there were white slave owners.
Yep.
The underground tunnel or the underground that went on during the Civil War. That what's her name? The black woman.
Rosa Parks?
No, Civil War.
Civil War.
Harriet Tubman, or no,
Harriet Tubman. Yes, Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
Yes. Okay.
Harriet Tubman.
So let me tell you, she ran more white slaves through those tunnels up into Canada than she did black slaves. So this isn't this isn't a little thing. This is a huge thing. And knowing the Shanghai tunnels and then the tunnel network that goes underneath Portland, all of Portland, it's so easy for them to get people out.
Well, that's what Allie Carter was even saying. She was saying that these tunnels not only go from, the schools and under the graveyards, but they're going underneath amusement parks, Walt Disney World, Epcot, your Universal Studios, I mean, she said, even your main time, your big college, football stadiums or even professional football stadiums. They're going everywhere.
Yep. It's a lot of people don't know. Epstein Island is a regular stop for Disney Cruise Lines.
That's just crazy.
Did you guys know that there's actually an island in the middle of Disneyland that none of the people are allowed to go on?
Yes, I do, and I've seen it because
And that at night, a lot of boats go to that island, and it's very sus, if you ask me, because if no tourists are allowed on that island, why are the boats going to this island? Oh, and by the way, it's not just tourists that are not allowed on this island, it's also employees. But yet, why are there boats going to this island in the middle of the night? Sounds very sus.
Because I want to say the first time I heard about that island was about it was like a little documentary or something, but I want to say like 3 or 4 kids like went there late at night and swam across there or on a boat or whatever, and it's been locked down, but it was supposed to be a ride that was supposed to be opened up, or an area of the theme park, but for some reason they just shut it down, and they said because of funding or whatever like that. But it's just real weird because it was like a pirate area, I think.
It was supposed to be a pirate themed show, but they shut it down supposedly because the new pirate island that they made was more attractive to customers and visitors and whatnot, and less dangerous than going ahead and going on a boat. But the question still remains, why tourists and why aren't employees allowed there? But why do boats still go in there in the middle of the night?
Right.
I mean, since 2004, there have been hundreds and hundreds of arrests of employees of Disney, all related to either child pornography, child sexual abuse, or trafficking of children. You know, and these are all employees of this organization. And how do they keep their jobs? Well, let me tell you, folks, Disney is very much like Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not part of the United States, and neither is Disney. It's foreign soil.
Foreign soil. It's all good.
Okay, I kind of want to address something since I
No,
saw
don't even go there.
Don't even do it because I'm getting ready to fix it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, don't even go there. Yep. We're not going to feed it.
Nope. I'm
Not
getting
at
ready
all.
to fix it.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go back to my room, but I did come in here to say 2 things real quick. So there are actually good social workers and there are really crappy social workers. Now, here's a good example of a really good social worker. One of the girls that I ran away with got into the whole sex trafficking prostitution thing. She was 15, 16 years old. I literally dropped her off at a house in Vancouver, Washington, and I got escorted out the door with a gun to my head. Okay, so I left. I said, nope, that's a big pile of nope for me. So I left and called up my caseworker. Now, mind you, she was at home. She called me back after checking her voicemails the next day and went on a 4-hour hunt with me and 5 other cops to track down this woman, this little girl, whatever the heck you want to call her. Okay, we never found her. We found her about 5 months later, dead under a bridge with a needle in her arm.
Oh my
That is
God.
a good caseworker that's willing to go ahead and go above and beyond. Now, a bad caseworker was her caseworker saying, oh, she's a prostitute and a foster kid. She's just going to end up dead with a needle in her arm. Sounds kind of sus seeing as she died with a needle in her arm. But so there are good caseworkers and there are bad caseworkers. And that's what I wanted to say. But I'm going back to my room and I'm smoking a bowl.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get to it. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry that this kind of crap is following in again.
Hey, man, I ain't even worried about this shit. Don't. Least of my worries. I'm trying to figure out how to do it again, though. I know I need to go into something.
I don't even worry about it. Like I told everybody, I know who I am. God knows who I am. So that don't even bother me. They're attacking me too. So, but I don't care.
I'm getting there. Hold on, Zach. I know I got Zach fucking. Zach will get me here going. Studio content live. That's what I gotta do.
Go into studio, content, with control panel.
Control panel. Yeah, I gotta let it all redo everything. Get there. Studio. I'm getting there. You know what? Hold on to that.
Yeah, it was funny that I was on Mark's last week, and Mark's like, "Dang it, Hawk!" He says, "I hate it. All these people are coming in and saying shit about you." He says, "And nobody talks about me. Nobody."
Ta-da! And that's how we fix that, Zach.
Yeah.
That's how we fix that. That is how we do it, Zach.
I'm sorry you have to do
Another
that,
one's
man.
in there too.
You know,
Dude,
Yeah.
Hawk, if I got to do that, that just means I'm doing something right, I guess,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm-
You know,
I mean,
and this is the thing is, you know, one thing that people should understand, and this is one of the main reasons why I have, you know, the patience that I have with Jess and everything else, and why, you know, is that when you go and you live through that, it's very, very hard to have faith in something unseen, you know, because of the horror that that they experience. Okay, and so in some cases, people grab onto whatever can find a means of comfort for them that gives them a means of being able to feel like in some way that there is some control of their life. And it takes time to away from that situation and away from the abuse and everything else before a person can be introduced and accepting to a loving God. You know, so you know, a lot of people say to me, you know, well, why don't you say something? Why don't you say something? Listen, you know, I could say stuff until I'm blue in the face, but the fact of the matter is that I was at that point in my life, you know, as a child, where there was a separation between myself and my God, you know, because of all of that going on. It was hard for me to believe in a God that would allow for this kind of thing to go on year after year after year. And it wasn't, you know, just a couple of weeks of this or a couple of days of this. This was years of abuse from 4 until 4, you know, until 14. And it was like I said, you know, when I joined the Marine Corps, I didn't join the Marine Corps to become a Marine. I went there to learn how to kill. I fell in love with the Marine Corps, you know, because of the fact that they broke me down further than where I was already at, and then they helped to rebuild me. And they didn't try to make me forget where I came from. You know, there were many times that, you know, that the senior drill instructor or our what is called our heavy had me in and had conversations because they were well aware of the situation that I had grown up in. They wanted to make sure that I was all right and that my head was on straight and everything else. There were times that they would look at me, and even though the day had been great, my mind was someplace else, and they were trying to refocus and direct me in, in this path. And they were my saving grace. You know, um, it was, after getting out of boot camp, going to church, um, was still very difficult for me. But while in boot camp, it was, it was the only time you got out of the barracks, away from your drill instructors, was when you went to church. And so there was a semblance of peace and quiet away from the DI, but at the same time, that's where reconnecting began. But it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I fully became reconnected, and started reading scripture and everything else again. But it wasn't until just a few years ago that I found it in myself to be able to forgive, everything from my past, and be able to step forward and be able to have a conversation about, being able to uh, recover from this. You know, I've, there are so many young women that come out and talk with us here at the farm, that spend time with us, that have gone through this, and they constantly ask, how were you able to get through this? How were you able to get past it? How did you find your reconnection to God? And so we sit down and we have that conversation, and sometimes they can find a new connection, and sometimes it just plants a seed, where eventually they begin looking into it and trying to experience it themselves, and it's nuts. It's nuts. But Allie Carter, kudos to her. Getting out there and telling her story, and and telling the truth of it all, and not holding back. That is, that's a strong young woman.
There's another one. I want to say, I don't know if you know her. She's a former basketball player, Cappy.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now, Hawk, how I first, and I just now seen Allie Carter, and I've heard of her from a little bit in the past, but how I just, and I knew about Cappy, but how I knew about Cappy and everything, there's a channel on YouTube, and I just showed it to Zach, and she's called Investigated Celebrity. Or is that what it's called, Zach? Is that what I just gave it to you? Investigation Celebrity. And she's freaking amazing, Hawk. I mean, she drops it and she puts some information out there. Let me see right quick, Zach, if I can find it, and I can show you exactly what her channel is.
Yeah, take and drop that link in the chat for people.
Yeah.
And even that interview with Stu Peters and her, drop that link too.
Yeah.
Give people, introduce her to people.
Yeah.
Because that's how, that's how some of these young mothers that are sitting in your crowd right now will be able to sit down and have a conversation with their teens.
This one right here, Investigating Celebrity.
Investigation Celebrity. Yep.
Yep. Now this channel right here, she is amazing. And she has got a lot of information out there about all types of things.
Cult 93. That's right. John Dunning's comment there. Yeah. Search Cult 93.
Yep.
That's another one too.
Yeah. But she's got a lot of information out there. And not only that, but, when I first found her, she had the entire list of you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's all been taken down, but y'all need to go subscribe to her and check her out because she's had plenty of strikes, plenty of warnings and everything. And she goes away for a little bit and then she comes back, and then she goes away and then she comes back. And then the last one that I just watched, which was this one right here. This was the channel right here. This was the one that I was just showing him about. And it's 3X Felon. That's
Yeah.
him.
How long is that interview?
It is 21 minutes and 21 seconds long.
Dude, I would play it.
Play it? All right.
Hell yeah.
Y'all ready?
I would play it. Yep. I'll mute. Everybody
All
mute.
right. Let's put everybody on mute. Let me go ahead and get this full screen here.
You got to make sure you turned on the audio too. So you may have to click the share screen again to make sure that you shared the audio. It's that little box that's down in the lower corner.
I know what you mean now. I know exactly what you're saying. Share my audio right here. This one. Click it up.
And then mute your mic so that way there it doesn't echo.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm getting ready to show this. This is Stu Peters. She is getting ready to interview Allie Carter, who we were just talking.
She really did take inappropriate sexual showers with her own dad, Joe Biden. And she really believes she was molested by older men as a young girl. But if it
Turn it up if you can.
of a sitting U.S. senator, it can happen to anybody. It's just a matter of the authorities choosing to take it seriously instead of dismissing it all, or worse, being involved. Allie Carter may have the...
Hold on. Y'all can't hear it? Hold on one second. Let's see if I can do it.
Super low.
Yeah, hold on.
Do you want me to find it on Rumble and pull it up?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, if y'all can give, because I don't have Rumble. I don't know. Oh, you can share it through my thing. Yeah. You can do that then, Hawk, if you want to.
Give me a second. Let me find it.
Yeah, let me stop sharing mine then. There we go. Let me go back to nothing. No, Jim, I think it was mine. My volume. It's my computer's old, guys. I'm running two screens and I'm not that computer savvy.
What did you say that was about 20? It was like 20 something minutes long.
Well, it was 21. That's what the exact numbers were. 21.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing a couple of different ones, and I'm going to look for the newest one, which was in January. I believe January 29th, I believe was it. You can tell me if this is the right one or not. Yeah, this was January 29th, 2022. And share screen.
Yep, that's it.
Yep,
that's it. That's exactly it.
Veritas prove what previously seemed insane and unthinkable. Ashley Biden's diary is real. She really did take inappropriate sexual showers with her own dad, Joe Biden. And she really believes she was molested by older men as a young girl. But if it can happen to the daughter of a sitting U.S. senator, it can happen to anybody. It's just a matter of the authorities choosing to take it seriously instead of dismissing it all, or worse, being involved. Allie Carter may have the wildest personal story that we have ever heard. Allie grew up in the school of hard knocks, to say the least. She was one of 6 girls in a troubled home. Her parents were affiliated with the Black Panthers, the radical black separatist group, and maybe that's to blame for what happened to her. Allie says that her biological mother routinely slept with authority figures and soon initiated her own children into the same practices. Allie says that her mom would hand her over to be abused by the local police chief. She would take her to a trap house just to be abused. And when Allie coped with that pain by running away or by harming herself, she was rewarded by being placed in new foster care homes, where instead of her mother, it was teenage boys and foster fathers who in turn abused her. At the age of 13, Allie was trafficked first into strip clubs, then the Hollywood party scene. She says that she endured stalking, poisoning, and police harassment. And most incredibly of all, she says that this is a system that major American celebrities have knowledge of and participate in. Celebrities like John Travolta, Beyonce, Barack Obama, and yes, Joe Biden. In July of 2020, Allie stepped forward to tell her story. Instagram tagged that account as, quote, unsafe for the election and blocked it. Like we said, this is a horrific story. And we will not silence Allie Carter. We want to learn all about it, and she joins us now. Allie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Stu. I really appreciate you.
So in July of 2020, you came out on Instagram. You couldn't bottle it up anymore. You made claims about Barack Obama and Joe Biden that shocked the world. How did it get there? Take us through your story.
Well, you know, as young as I remember, I've been trafficked through many elite places. I went from the Buckingham Palace to under the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, still under the custody of Child Protective Services, the child welfare system. It went from trap houses in your everyday neighborhood of Moreno Valley, California, and Los Angeles County, strip clubs, and into Hollywood elite parties. There was never a time of peace in my life. And I remember very clearly since 4 years old, there was never a time of peace in my life. It's been ongoing.
Who started all of this? I mean, your mother originally. And then yes. Who carried on? How did you end up in Buckingham Palace and underneath the Getty Museum and alongside some of these household names that I just mentioned?
When I was a child, there was many things that went on in the home. I tried to talk. I tried to let people know. Child Protective Services were called constantly since I was 3 months old. By the time I turned 13, I had enough of being raped and beaten and tortured behind rocks on La Salle in Moreno Valley, California. I had enough of going through dealing with my mother's boyfriends. She was nothing of a mother, but I had enough of dealing with them at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had enough of being the favorite out of the girls. And I couldn't take anymore, so I tried to kill myself. When I turned 13, CPS came into the picture. I was put into mental hospitals, and then finally, I was put into foster care. I thought things would be over from there. I thought it would be fine. And then after all of that, I started thinking that I was talking to someone online, but everybody knew me before I knew them. I was trafficked by a pimp who claimed to be 27 years old, and he was not. I found many passports, many different birth dates for him in his wallet. And when I told CPS this, they put him down as a 27-year-old boyfriend, and he was a 27-year-old trafficker that was going in and out of my homes, paying off my foster parents, and taking me to Hollywood elite parties over and out of the country, which is, you would think, would be where the FBI would have stepped in. I was letting my social workers know, and they told me to stay quiet. They told me that if I told anybody else, that I would be shipped off to Arizona and no one would ever find me again. So, you know, at one point, you learn that you have to deal with what you have to deal with when the people in authority are not there to help you. And everybody is so worried about the elite. And we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. We know about Michelle Obama, that's a man. We know about Too Short. We know about Akon and Steven Tyler, and we can give those names all day. And everybody is so worried about that. But what you should be worried about is the people that are in between, the people that go as low as your grave diggers. I was trafficked to people within my schools. I was trafficked in underground tunnels that link under your schools, through your cemeteries, under your amusement parks, through Universal Studios, and into Hollywood elite homes, all over the place, all over the world. And people don't understand that, and they can't fathom that, and they can't put that together. But if you think about the things that have come out lately, and there's 200 children missing, and there's 300 children missing. What Amber Alert did you receive? How many times do you receive an Amber Alert every year? And if you think about that, how many children are coming up in your face that have been tortured and abused like this? It exists, it's real, and people don't want to face it. It happens in your schools every day, as your grave diggers, your trash men. Everybody is involved, but everybody is looking at the top, and that's just a small percentage, and you really need to look at the people in between.
So the names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes.
These people participated in sex abuse firsthand with you?
Yes.
Can you tell that story? Because that's important for people to understand and to know. And to this point, I don't think a national platform has given you the opportunity to say those things.
No, because everybody is complicit. Everybody is complicit. It is covered up by your local FBI. It is covered up by your local police department. It is underground tunnels. There's a whole world. It's a different way of life. There's every source of transportation. When I met Joe Biden, I was rushed through many celebrities. Half of them I did not know. It didn't faze me to see them. It didn't. Some of them were actually very conceited and cocky that I didn't know who they were. Underground, under the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, there are many tunnels. Again, there's a way of transportation. There's every single way of transportation under the ground. I was sold to Joe Biden. Multiple times. Sometimes people don't talk about it, because when you don't talk about it, it makes it okay. When you don't talk about it, it makes you bury it. When you don't talk about it, it's easier, and it kills that part of you. I was sold for blowjobs. I was sold for sex. There is many people who trade to eat, beat, and rape children under the ground. I have many friends that I've lost, and I have many people that I've met that didn't make it, that refer to me as a traitor.
And that's because they're still dealing with this right now to this day.
Yes, there are millions just like me. There are millions worse off than me. There are millions that people cut off their limbs so they don't fight them back when they rape them. There are millions that they take pleasure in draining their blood and using it as a source of a fountain of youth. People have many sick fetishes, and the Hollywood elite, we sign their paychecks. We sign all of their paychecks every single day. This when you stream their music, when you buy something from their brands, we sign their paychecks. And these are the people that have put something in your face and made you want to believe that you are the ones that are responsible to make them look the way they look. Their image is not what you think it is. They're sick, evil people.
This is something that has only recently become accepted by a large amount of people. Until now, a lot of people would look at you, Allie Carter, and say, you're crazy. And is that what these people at CPS held over your head and said, you're going to go to Arizona? You keep talking crazy like this. We're very concerned about your mental health. Is the gaslighting something that they did to try to make you doubt your own experiences, your own personal knowledge of what it was that was going on, the horrific tragedy that you were experiencing? I mean, is that what they would do? Is that the tactics?
Yes, I was taught pain is pleasure. I was taught that you are not you do not speak unless you're spoken to. I was taught that as a foster care kid, you have nothing but what's in your trash bag that you carry from home to home when you're evicted from foster home to foster home. I was in over 19 high schools in 1 year. I never stayed in a place longer than a month. I was never in a home. I was moved all around because nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to do anything about it. The California Ombudsman was contacted. My foster mother, that is now my adopted mother, I'm adopted now. She went to everyone. She went to the police. She went to the California Ombudsman. She went to private investigators. She talked to judges, attorneys, lawyers. She went to everyone, and everyone shut her down. There was no help whatsoever. And she was made out to be the crazy one. I was made out to be the crazy one. I was a high-risk kid. I was moved from foster homes to level 14 lockdown group homes. And every single time something happened, every single time I came in with cracked ribs, with bruises, with bites, with rape kits beyond rape kits. No one did anything. I went from shelter to shelter, from CPS report to CPS report. And CPS is your cover-up. CPS is corrupt. CPS buys and sells and trades children. That is their major facade. There are some good social workers out there, and there are some social workers that know that they cannot speak on things, they cannot do certain things, and they have to abide by certain rules, because if you don't, you will be abused too, just like there is in the Brotherhood Freemason Cops. There is a secret society in the Freemason Cops as well. We are not safe. We have been threatened, harassed, stalked, and hunted down because I mentioned that I was trafficked under the Getty Museum. I have so much evidence. I have so much information, but I don't know who to give it to, and I don't know who to honestly talk to, because there's nothing that has come of it. I don't know if Trump is going to do something, because that's the only reason why I do have something to believe in Trump, because he has given money to trafficking organizations, but 501c3s are cover-ups too. So what exactly and where exactly is this money going, and is there any really help? Because there's not. While we're out here, there has been where our gate have been, our house has been broken into, I'm sorry. Our animals have been killed. We have been away from our home for a year. We can't go back without police coming out and asking us where we have been. We have been stopped and pulled over in 8 states without a ticket, without a warning, and without any logical reason. They just want to know where our car is, what time that we'll be back, where are we parked, and how long will we be out, and how much money do we have. This is not normal, and everybody knows that something is wrong.
So when you say that Trump has given money to trafficking organizations, you mean organizations that fight trafficking, right?
Human trafficking.
I just want to make sure that I understand that. He's not participating in funding human sex trafficking.
No, that's not what I believe, and no, that is not what I've ever heard. I believe that Trump has done something because he is the only president that has mentioned it, and Trump is the only person that I haven't seen, to be honest with you.
So firsthand, these people were in a room with you and they raped you. I mean, there's no other, I want to be absolutely 100% candid. Barack Obama, yes. Joe Biden, these people raped you. And you say that you have these mountains of evidence that nobody wants to look at. What evidence do you have?
We have police reports, we have rape kits, we have information, we have videos, we have so much. But again, there's so much that I can't put completely out there, and I have mountains of it. But I do understand that when I was 16, I ran away from CPS. This is how I escaped. I was auctioned to Russia. I knew that if I went to Russia with this man, that I would not come back and I would die. So I ran away and I hid for a year. I did what I had to do, and I can't say exactly what I had to do because it would put some people in danger. But I'm here and I'm alive. And during this time, my pimp sent fake FBI to homes to interrogate, to disrupt the neighborhood. But when the suspects that they thought were the ones that were guilty and called them back, they didn't want anything. They didn't want to talk. They just wanted to see exactly where I was. It didn't end from there. It hasn't ended at all. I'm 27 years old now, and it should be done, because if this was just about sex, if this was just about money, this would be over. But this is not what this is about. MK Ultra exists. DID exists. This hell exists.
Explain that for people who don't understand what that really means. So what is this really all about?
This is all about power and control. MK Ultra is a mind control programming. It happens to Hollywood elites. It is happening right now to Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, many celebrities just like them. But nobody understands and nobody knows, because it's a part of control. It's like someone has the remote to someone's life, and no one knows who's pushing the buttons. Dissociative identity disorder happens when you have nowhere to go with the trauma, when you have nowhere to go with the pain. So your mind splits and shatters into a million pieces. But those are people that have had to take a part of the pain and do what they have to do to stay alive.
So a lot of your detractors, skeptics, would say Allie Carter waited until July of 2020 to come out with all of this on Instagram. That was conveniently just before a highly contested hot presidential election. This is a political hit job. That's all this is. To those people, what do you say?
Human sex trafficking, human child trafficking is not an argument. It's not a political issue. It's not a religious issue. It's not a sexual orientation. It is a humanity issue. There are children that are black, white, blue, green. There is no one that needs to have an argument about this conversation. This is a humanity issue that everybody needs to move for.
Have any authorities looked underneath the Getty Museum? Has anybody investigated your claims about tunnels being there or anywhere else? Will anybody go underground? Have you shown them the door? Have you shown them how to get there?
I've tried to talk to people, and they told me they will make sure that I stay silent. Everybody covers this up. Everyone covers everything up. But it's not just the Getty. It is underground in your schools. It is underground in your cemeteries. It is underground every day where you walk on.
Who's manufacturing, who's building, who's creating these tunnels?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea?
That's what everybody, I have no idea. I do not know who's at the top.
Do people that work at the schools, do they know that they're there? Do the teachers know?
Yes, the school is complicit. Your teachers are complicit. When I was trafficked throughout my high schools and my time in foster care, my teachers signed me in and out of school. There was the automated service that gives you a call that lets you know that your students are tardy. They were making sure that I was present in my classes, but I was dropped off at school. I was picked up by my pimp. I was returned before the bus got back, and I was placed back in my foster home, or I would not go to school for the day. It was brought to the attention of my SROs. It was brought to the attention of the guidance counselors, and they are all complicit. They all know what's going on. And it is reported.
And it was reported and completely ignored.
It is reported and it is documented by social workers.
So the law enforcement agencies that are ignoring this, why are they doing that? Why are cops and investigators and federal agents, why are they ignoring your claims, your victimization, the crimes against you?
Because they're customers. They're all customers. Again, everybody is so worried about the top Hollywood elite, but you should be worried about the people that sit next to you every day. They are complicit. Your local police are complicit.
All of them?
They're customers. All of them. They're customers. There are some good cops. There are some good cops, but they're very far and few in between.
And so those good cops that know about what you have going on, are they unwilling to do anything about it because the majority of them that surround them are involved and that they could lose their jobs?
They could lose their jobs. They could be threatened for the rest of their lives. They could be hunted, stalked, and harassed just as much as the Freemason Brotherhood cops do to everyone else. What they do to one, they will do to everyone else.
Well, the best thing that you can do,
Including their own.
obviously, is get this out as far and as wide as possible. I mean, I think that that is probably the best form of protection for you and for anybody else. And now that this is out there on a national platform, I mean, I just don't see any reason why somebody should not be investigating and exposing these tunnels that we have all heard about and that have raised eyebrows in this community now since the beginning of the Trump presidency. When you're right, the attention was directed, the eyes were opened up in this way during that presidency, as in were opened in a lot of other things as well. But nothing is more horrific, nothing is more important than stopping child sex trafficking. That has to be done. This has to be exposed. Our children are our most precious gifts from God. And we must protect them by any means necessary. And everybody involved needs to be exposed. And that's why I'm asking about celebrity names, powerful elites, politicians. That's why these people need to be exposed, because these are the people that we are supposed to be able to run to help us to handle the cops and the garbage man and the school lunch cafeteria aide. Those are the people that need to be arrested. But who do we go to?
Exactly. And that's what it worries me every day. I know there's no justice for me. I accepted that a while ago. I can't have kids of my own. I understand that there's a lot that I will probably never be able to have, including my childhood. I don't have many pictures. I don't have any pictures of me as a baby. I have pictures of me from 14 up, in the worst moments and in the worst ways. I just want peace, because this is not about a sexual experience. This is not about just cash. This is about something else, and it's deeper than that, because this is decades of tactics. This is decades of issues. These are decades of problems. Satanic ritual abuse exists. Human sex trafficking exists. Organ harvesting exists all over the place. The black market exists. Humans, babies, children, 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds are having their bodies sliced open and used as human suitcases over the border. I have been trafficked over the border. Those babies are moved as if they're still alive. They put clothes on them, they sit them up, and they use them until their bodies cannot be used anymore. This is not just about sex, because after your body is used for sex, your organs are used for organ harvesting and selling on the black market, which goes to your hospitals. You wonder why a heart costs so much. You wonder why a liver or a kidney costs so much. And because of that, you can go to Mexico and you can get it for a little bit cheaper, and you wonder why. There is so much going on, and this is decades and decades of tactics that people need to wake up to and do something about, because again, our authority is not going to do it.
Despite
It's
everything
going to take everyday people.
Despite everything that you've been through, you have managed to find joy, and you have managed to rise up and be strong and do things now that you are incredibly proud of, as you should be. What are you doing now?
I'm a dance teacher. I'm a cheer coach. I have been since I turned 18 and was able to live with my mom in foster care. I'm adopted by now. I'm a special needs teacher. I love my kids like my own, because I can't have children, and I miss them so much because I had to just walk away from it for a second to deal with all of this. The threats come every year, but I do what I have to do, and I keep a smile on my face, and I love to be that mentor for babies. I'm a birthday host and go to 4-year-olds parties and read books to them. On my time off, I braid hair for foster children that cannot get their hair done because they have to basically pay for it by themselves, because every foster parent is living paycheck to paycheck, but using it for themselves to make Hawaii trips and whatnot. I love what I do.
Yeah, you have a lot to be proud of.
And I'm a college student too.
Good for you. This is out there now and needs to be immediately investigated. And we're going to continue to follow up with this. We don't know who to go to. We don't know who's involved, but somebody somewhere is going to hear this that has the balls and that has the authority and that has the courage and that knows what is right. In Jesus' name, I'm going to pray that. I'm going to command that that happens. Allie
In
Carter,
Jesus' name. Thank you.
for being here and for telling us your story and for your bravery. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Oh shit. My
Pretty
bad.
potent, huh?
Yeah, that's a very, very powerful interview, guys. Very powerful. And I showed it to Zach. I'm glad I showed it to you, Hawk, and I'm glad
you shared it
to all
here.
of y'all. That's 129 of y'all
Thank
that
you.
just seen what's going on out there. And
Okay.
this shit's fucking real. This is
You should
shit.
see.
It's
You
no
should
fucking
see.
laughing matter.
You
This
should
shit-
see his other video that he just did, man.
Jeff,
I know.
or Jeremy, I'm gonna be very respectful on your show. I'm not gonna curse, but doesn't that just give you warm, tingling feelings to be part of a race that would allow that to happen?
I mean,
Oh my God!
Well, what you would have to do is you would have to you would have to place the human race in that category because it's not whites, it's not blacks, it's not Chinese,
yeah,
it's
that's
not,
what I'm saying. I mean,
it's the
aren't
human
you
race.
glad to be a
Top.
part of the human
Pinned up at the
race
top.
in which we can allow stuff like that to happen? I mean, oh my God, that I want to. There's so many words I want to use right now, but I'm not going to, just out of respect. I mean, it's sickening. That's all I can say.
Guys, I've been dropping the link. I'll drop it one more time. Here you
yeah,
go.
that the link for that video Hawk is dropping. Okay. The
It's the
link
Rumble
for
two
stream
meters
is
right
pinned
there.
up at the top of the chat. So there's both of the links. There's another link that I thrown in there if you scroll through it though, but that is for Investigating Celebrities channel, the one that I got that from. Okay, so yeah, and like I said, y'all can actually go in YouTube search and type in Allie Carter, and there's a bunch of different parts. She's got 4 or 5 different parts of her story of her escaping and everything like that. I haven't gotten to watch all of them, but she's out there, y'all. And every one of her interviews, none of them stray. They're all the exact same. Every interview she's done that I've seen, and I've seen 3 or 4 of them, they're all the exact same. Michelle, you had something?
She
Yeah.
did one with a girl. I think her name was. She does some really great interviews. Christian lady, Rachel Ham. I think her last name is.
I think she popped up when I was looking up her name, like as an
Yeah,
interviewer.
it's she did an interview with her as well, where she was delved more into the satanic side, of it, it was kind of amazing. Her foster mom, or her adopted mom, I should say, because she was adopted later on, was there with her and was verifying, everything that she was saying, that, this is the background that this girl came from and everything. So, and I understand people being skeptical about it and everything, because of the fact that, a lot of these interviews came up just before the election. But the fact of the matter is those interviews have been up for she's had interviews up for like going on 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like right after Trump did the executive orders on child trafficking, sex trafficking, human trafficking. She really came forward and she wasn't as afraid, and she began to talk about it. And they've moved 3 times since she started giving interviews, because of the harassment and everything else that comes along with it. And the fact is that these are real situations. It's there's that saying about being judged or judging people. There's a certain point you shouldn't be judging somebody until you've until you yourself have experienced what they've experienced. The fact that the girl has the courage to come forward and tell her story is huge.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on one second. Michelle, go ahead. I know you got something on your mind.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell you. I mean, since you just watched Stu Peters, watch his documentary on it's called Watch the Water.
We've already seen it.
Oh, yeah, you already watched it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was I think that's what gave me my strike on my channel, but that was pretty powerful too. I'll put that in the chat for anybody to watch if they haven't.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we watched that one too.
I want to watch it. Just to say, add on to what Hawk was trying to say, basically don't judge somebody until you've walked a mile in their shoes.
Oh, I thought he meant the biblical judgment because that's different.
Even that too.
Well, no, actually, if you're born again and you're correcting them by using a verse, then it's not judgment. You know what I mean? Like if you're saying, okay, like you're doing this and you're living an abomination lifestyle, and I care about you and I don't want you to go to hell.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Hawk, I know Bella and the Dragon is not a big book, many chapters, but it takes me a little bit to read. But I'm about halfway through it. You're there. You go. Yeah,
I like that comment there, Jerry Lee. God is the only judge. Yeah,
but Bella on Bella and the Dragon, I'm at the part where he's going to the dragon now. Daniel already debunked the Bella statue in the temple. Where he sealed it all up and then put the ash around the food and everything. And the next morning they opened it up and he was like, oh, look, see, it's all been consumed by Bella. And he's like, wait a minute, look at all these footprints. And then he's like, let's follow these footprints, and found the priest in the secret, passage. And see, they've been stealing the food the whole time. It has been, so now he's going to take them to the dragon. And now Daniel's getting ready to debunk the dragon. Go ahead, Zach. I know you've already read it.
I actually read Bell and the Dragon last night.
Yes, see? So you know where I'm at then. You know where part I'm at then. Okay. All right. Good. See, I'm reading it, Zach. I'm reading it. That's right. Man, what else we got out there we can expose, Hawk? We got all types of stuff we can expose.
Yeah, it's that's a pretty big one right there, brother. That's
I try. I mean, some days I like to have fun on here and goof off, and some days I like to drop some truth out there, and so I don't know. It's like I said, it came across that 1 second, Jennifer. It came across. That's a pretty damn OMG fact what I just played. But it came across my YouTube page, and just random stuff like that just talks to me, and it's like play this, so
that's a lot for just one live. I mean that's a lot to take in and really think and consider.
It's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, very.
It's like a lot of people who've led we'll just call it godly lives, Christian lives, Christian values and everything. You don't generally when that kind of stuff comes up, you're avoiding you're avoiding all that type of atmosphere, that type of negativity, you pretty much walk away from it. The problem is that in doing so, you're shutting your eyes and you're shutting your ears, so you can't see and you can't hear. You can listen, but when you listen, it just goes in one ear and out the other, like listening to the radio. That's why they call it listening to the radio. You don't say, I hear the radio. What you will periodically do is, I heard a song and I connected with the song because you heard the message in the song. There's a difference between listening and hearing. And when you learn that difference and you put yourself in a position where you're hearing you're shutting everything else out, and you're focusing and you're listening, you know, with a certain perspective, and then all of a sudden it begins to resonate with you. And once that resonation begins, that's when you begin hearing the true message about what's going on. Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, no, I was looking at the kitty.
Oh, hi, kitty. You let my
Funny
dog see
thing
that.
is- The funny thing about this
I said, I
bastard
don't
is
want to talk to you. Kitty runs away.
tonight. No, he's like 18 pounds, but tonight it's kind of cold outside, so people are doing their own fires and stuff.
Well,
I don't have a fire.
well,
But
we
he'll
have
go-
a
he's-
freeze warning tonight, Yorga,
And
and you're
he's
further
got
north
some
than
other
me.
family
So I mean,
that he goes hangs out with some other family till he gets hungry. And when I pick him up like that, I'm like, he smells like a fire, and I don't have a fire here. Do you know what I mean? He's
he's been
sandbagging.
going over somebody's house to have a fire.
Yeah, he is. I don't care as long as they're nice to him and everything. But I swear he'll come home smelling like smoke. I'm like, you've been at the Mexican's house across the street, haven't you? They like cook a goat or something, you know. Yeah.
So Hawk, I see Gabriel isn't underneath you tonight. Who's underneath you tonight? Underneath the desk tonight?
Cuvée.
Cuvée is. And how's Mama doing?
She's in the other building. She's doing good.
Okay,
She's doing good. She'll be she's adjusting a lot better. And she's in a quiet atmosphere right now. So we'll see what happens with her. You know, she's going to end up going back with them as soon as they get a new home. You know, you know, last year we had so many dogs out here. You know, because of the fires, people were bringing their dogs out. They wanted me to take cats, and I couldn't because I just, you know, there's just no way that I could guarantee that my dog wouldn't go crazy.
It just ain't.
You know,
Yeah.
But you know,
take
with
them.
the
I bet
fires and
you
everything,
you
so
would
many
take them if you could, but it ain't going to work with all those doggy dogs.
Yeah,
you got there.
I would have to build another building just to
Yeah, but I
house
bet
cats.
you if you could, you would take them though. I bet you would.
Yeah, Jess would love that. She loves cats. She has a cat in her building. You know, she has a cat and her min pin in there. But it's like even bringing her min pin outside, all these big dogs are like, Baron's in love with that little min pin. He'd love to popsicle stick her. You know, it was no doubt about it.
Funny how love works that way, you know.
But with the fires, we had at one point we had well over 180 dogs out here at one time.
Damn, are you serious, Hawk?
I'm not kidding.
Well, you
I'm
have
not
30
kidding.
acres, so I mean, you
need a herd of cattle just to feed them all.
Oh, it was well, actually, most of the people brought their own dog food in. You know, they were staying in hotels, or they were looking for, you know, or they were living in their vehicles. You know, while they were waiting to find some type of housing. You know, so sometimes they were here for a couple of days, sometimes they were here for a couple of weeks. We had a few that were here for a few months. We had a couple that we had to send to get put down because the owners never came back for them, and they had such exorbitant medical issues. That there was just no way that we could afford the expenditure to, you know, for surgeries and things like that they would need.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that maybe a bunch of people just dropped off animals and you had to absorb all of that, but they were actually being hotel or whatever.
Yep.
And then
we had people from California. We had people from Oregon. We even had some people from Southern Washington that all had major issues with the fires and everything. So a lot of, you know, I didn't realize how many actual homes were affected by those fires in California, but there were hundreds and hundreds of homes that were completely destroyed. Also here in Oregon too.
Oh yeah,
You
the wildfire. Yeah,
I don't know how you guys manage that though.
Well,
have,
okay,
like,
now
orphan
check me if I'm wrong though. But the reason why the wildfires are out there so bad is because they don't do like a yearly burn where they burn the underbrush, correct?
Well, that's part of it. It's not so much as burning the underbrush; it's clearing the underbrush.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
They cut everything, but then they leave it in piles, you know, throughout the wooded areas, and they don't clean up. You know, they don't clean it up. So once it begins to burn, that's it. We're kind of lucky because our, a good part of the farm is like a swamp area during the winter and the spring. By the time the heat comes in, the ground is just then really beginning to dry out at all. So we've been extremely lucky. But we had fires just 2 farms away from us. That's how close they got last year. Was 2 farms away from us,
Damn.
less than a quarter of a mile away. And we were out there with the camera during a live. We were out there with the camera, shooting, showing the smoke coming up and the flames on the side of the hill and everything. And that was, just up the road from us. It was, it was. We were worried for a while there, but at the same time, we were praying a lot. So we had some protection. So. Look at that. They all ran off, left me here.
No, I'm here.
It was they all ran off,
I'm
left me
still
all.
Sorry, Hawk. I'm still
Nobody
trying to
didn't run away.
comprehend that
I'm
video
right here.
that we
I'm right
watched.
Yeah, it is. It's, if you go back and you watch her earlier interviews, when she first started doing her interviews, there was a certain point where when the guys were, and most of the interviews were with guys first, and then she did a couple of interviews with some women who were a little bit more compassionate and a little bit more understanding. She relaxed a lot more and she was able to get more out. But you go through a bunch of her interviews and things like that, and you begin to understand and get a gist of this girl and what she's about. She's not on asking for money for anything. All she wants is just people to understand that this is a real thing, that it really happens, and that we, the people, the human beings of this planet, are the only ones who can stop it.
I can try.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll drop that into the private chat for Jeremy. Absolutely.
What we need is more politicians to care. Like, and I don't call Trump a
No, I
politician,
think,
but we
I
need
think
more
Bertie
people to start
wants you
caring.
to have that, Hawk.
I think law enforcement needs to do a better job too to start ending it, because believe it or not, there's a lot of sex trafficking happening right in New York City. I think there was an article on InfoWars, and Owen Schreier brought this up. Over 800 girls were rescued in the last year just in New York City, under the young as age 12. We're talking people young as age 12. Over 800, and this is 2022, just this year, and no one talks about it. You don't hear it on Fox News. You don't hear it on CNN. 800 girls rescued in 2022 alone in New York City. And ask yourself, how are they being transported from all the way from across the border to here? Who's paying for it?
Yep. I have here, let me do a screen share again. And this is from American Military News.
Oh, I follow them.
Okay. U.S. Marshals rescue 16 missing kids. U.S. Marshals rescued 16 missing children in New Orleans, Louisiana, in a months-long operation dubbed Fresh Start that included sex trafficking allegations. 5 people were also arrested during the mission. According to a press release, the U.S. Marshals Service, Eastern District of Louisiana, New Orleans Task Force led the missing child unit operation from January 1st to March 31st that uncovered allegations of human sex trafficking in several of the cases. Among those were recovered were a 1-year-old boy, a 5-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, a 15-year-old girl who has schizophrenia and managed to wrestle free from restraints before jumping out of an ambulance. A runaway 14-year-old girl was also found in Fayetteville, Georgia during the operation. The teen had run away from New Orleans in January of 2022, and family were concerned about her possible involvement in sex trafficking and believed that she was with an older male in Florida. The release stated. USMS investigations, U.S. Marshal Service investigation shows the teen may have also traveled to Jacksonville, Florida area as well before being located in Georgia. I'm very proud of the cooperative work done by all agencies involving and safeguarding at-risk children. Our office is proud to be a part of a robust MCU program that took root in New Orleans starting in 2016. Who was in office in 2016? Okay. U.S. Marshal for the Eastern District of Louisiana State, Scott Illing, I think his name is, said in a statement, this work is being done with our partners while our office still performs its critical U.S. Marshal Service missions, judicial and witness security, managing federal prisoners, violent fugitives, apprehensive, sex offender investigations, and service of federal process. So this article goes on, but this is, if you've been watching the news for the last couple of years, you've seen more and more and more arrests happening all around the country in regards to this. The thing is it again is if you choose to be blind to it, you choose to be blind to it. But the thing is, being blind to it isn't going to be the answer when you're standing before God and God says, so why didn't you do something about it? Why didn't you help?
And the bad thing is we're in 2022. The bad part is it's going to get worse because now you got California and you got places like Maryland who are now accepting pedophilia.
Yep. Yeah, that makes it even worse. It does. Our children are at risk. There's no doubt about that. And I shouldn't say our children because I don't have any. I'm not going to have any.
The superintendent California said that they're going to start accepting it. They're going to start hiring them.
Protect and save the children. We still have to save and protect the children.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody has sex with a child, touches them, any shape, way, or form, male or female. They're sick in the head. They need to be castrated or hung or something.
Well, the Lord told us what to do with them. We said tie a millstone about their neck and toss them to the depths of the ocean. Let the crustaceans feed upon them.
You and I know what days we're in, Hawk, right? Yep. You know we're coming to that pretty soon. I'm sure you believe it. I know Jeremy. When we used to do Bible study, because I know you work a lot, Jeremy, so it's hard for you to come to Bible study, but you know what days we're in too, right? I mean, you see it every day.
Sometimes it's like almost looking out the window and seeing what part of Revelation are we in today.
Yep.
Like it's cold. It's middle spring, and some places are still having snow. Like it's April 20th. I have a freeze warning.
Snow today.
Baby.
I've got a freeze warning right now.
It's gonna snow.
And then I'm pretty sure here in a couple days it's going to be like 70, 80 degrees for some people. But it's like 32, 28, 32 right now. But 2 days from now it's going to be 70 degrees, 80 degrees. Beautiful.
Same day with New York.
Love me, baby.
Crazy, right?
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it was like, it was not snowing today, but if I can describe it like this, it was like ice snowflakes today.
Not the judge. Fuck that guy.
I was like, damn.
Me, baby.
I didn't like driving in this shit.
Yeah, the guy gets a maternity gets a maternity leave for adopting a baby.
Did you guys hear California passed the AB 2223 bill, which means it goes to the Senate, where up to full-term abortion up to 12 days after birth?
Vote for your 2024. Fuck that guy.
Wait, what the hell did you just say, Michelle?
AB 2223 is full-term abortion 12 days after birth.
Vote for your 2024. Fuck that guy.
That's murder. Pure abortion is murder.
Abortion is murder, but that's beyond just yeah. But it's true. You can look it up. AB 2223. They passed it, and now they got to take it to the Senate.
Fuck that guy.
It rained yesterday.
What in the hell are we coming to?
Fuck that guy.
Like I said, we're coming to the rapture soon. I'm going to go home. Those who want to stay after can stay.
No, that's an after party I don't want to be a part of.
Me neither. I don't want to be part of a new world order. But yeah, it's definitely straight up murder. But it is, anybody could look it up. AB 2223.
It's 37 degrees outside right now. It's fucking cold as shit.
I can
It's
pull
cold.
it up.
It's cold
right
outside.
there.
It's cold. Oh, Zach, we're supposed to do the OMG fact, man. You ready for the OMG fact?
Come on.
For Wednesday, April 20th, 2022, year of our Lord. Ooh, this is a good one, y'all. Steve Chen worked at Facebook for a few weeks before quitting to begin his own startup. Guess what it was called, y'all? YouTube.
Oh.
That is the OMG fact, and I am not friggin' lying with you. Not
Wow.
one
An
bit.
interesting one.
Yeah, but the thing is he didn't start YouTube. DARPA did.
Well, thank you, Hawk, for
It was
fact
handed off to him.
checking that OMG
Yep.
fact.
No, but that you know it was turned over to him, absolutely. And I think that it was that the beginning of Facebook was a selection process. You know, because as these workers came in, these people were beginning to look at the character of individuals, their technical abilities, so on and so forth, and he was selected to run YouTube. He was selected, you know, no different than our selections every 4 years, because we know that they're not actual, you know, things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? That's right. That's right.
Roche-
What?
Oh, Cat 1849 said they were protesting the bill outside the Capitol in California when the convoy was going on. I did see it, but not a lot of people were there protesting against the bill. We could do better than that, because just standing outside screaming at the politicians is not going to do enough.
Zach, you okay?
We get these politicians out of office.
Wake up.
That's how we change it.
You need to go to bed, Zach. You were falling asleep. You were falling asleep sitting up.
That's because he took one too many gummies tonight.
What do you think, Hawk? Do you think we're going to come to the point where we're actually, and I'm 100% pro-life. I was a lobbyist for 2 years, working
Yeah,
back
it's
and
only
forth to going to
37 right there,
DC.
Tom.
Do you see us overturning the abortion?
I see the world overturning abortion.
I can't see us ending it as
I-
much as I want that to
do.
happen.
You know, I see. Yeah, the thing is that, you know, people can call it hopium, they can call it whatever the hell they want, you know, but our faith in our Creator, and knowing how He wins, is what grounds us. And I believe that it's going to come to a point where it is an unaccepted practice worldwide, not just here in the United States, but worldwide. You know, because you got to remember that, you know, Planned Parenthood isn't only in America; it's in other countries as well. You know, America was just a kickstart for it. You know, and that was and Planned Parenthood was started by Bill Gates's mother, Margaret Sanger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sad.
Somebody's ringy dingling.
I'll never go back working for them again, because no matter how many times I would sit there, and most of the time it would be the staff to do all the work, and they just weren't all in it. Their hearts weren't in it. To even say we're doing good when 1,000 babies are being killed in those districts in a month, that's not doing good.
No, it's not.
So I stopped trusting them.
Every life counts. Every life counts. And until people realize that, you know, there's never going to be an end to this, because it's just going to be that cycle that just continues and continues and continues. we as people have to decide that enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, just look at everything that's gone on in the last 2 years on the medical side of things. You know, if people haven't come to the realization that their government isn't trying to kill them yet, then they have a lot of waking up to do. A lot of waking up to do. And I hear people, it's, well, I'm going to debunk this. I'm going to debunk this. You know, no matter what, you can say whatever you want, but the facts are the facts, and it's all laid out there for you. And if you're unaccepting of it, then you're basically condoning it. Yeah. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Bug
I gotta go
dude,
get a Pepsi. I'll be back in a minute.
bug dude, pedos don't have to be just males.
All right,
They can
Hawk.
be
I'll see you in a few
pedos
minutes.
just
I'll be
as
here.
well.
I ain't going nowhere right now. Not yet.
I'm not surprised by the California, and I think they were the first state to push abortion after birth. So I mean, even so, no matter what, I call it a murder, but that is just beyond gruesome. It's beyond anything I could imagine. I can't believe we're here, but here we are.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, abortion is murder, but I mean, 12 days after you're born, even, I mean, come on, where do you draw the line at
I mean, look at what they're
murder?
doing in the second trimester.
I mean, why not just make it, hey, you know what? 21 years after birth, you can abort. I mean, what the hell?
Look what they do and babies can feel pain exactly at 14 weeks. So the babies are feeling the pain when they're performing the saline abortion or the dismemberment abortion. The dismemberment abortion is when they rip limbs off one by one, and that baby's heartbeat's still beating.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it's like to be that baby, though? That's the one that got me, was the just dig in there with a coat hanger and just start pulling.
Well, it's not a coat hanger. What it is, it looks like thongs with teeth. And they'll go in there and they'll just grab that arm and rip it right off. And that baby's heartbeat will be beating. And it decreases because of the blood loss. But that baby 100% feels that pain.
They used to do, though, in the old days, a woman would go in the bathtub with a
Oh, yeah, you heard that. But that's how Democrats pushed abortion, because they said that would reduce the coat hanger abortions. But
well,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
It did happen.
Know that.
Yeah.
You would think it'd be, you know, either you get rid of the kid or you end up killing yourself because of the blood loss or whatever. You know,
Look
I
at the
don't know.
saline abortion. The saline abortion is when they inject saline into the baby, and the mother will have to naturally give birth to that baby. When that baby comes outside, and I don't mean to compare a baby to a hot dog, but if you charboil a hot dog, that's what the skin will look like, charboiled skin. So the baby's burning from the inside out.
Michelle, trust me, I am anti-abortion.
That's good too.
I'm with you.
Feels that pain too.
But to be honest, I want to say this: I have broken all 10 commandments.
And you're forgiven, brother, because that's not for us today. You know that, right? That's not for us today.
Who's that talking? I cannot see you because
even
I am
though
blind.
the same commandments are in the New Testament. That was speaking to the before Christ died.
Who is that?
Well, those are the ones I go by.
And that's okay, because I can't tell you what religion
I
to
know
be.
that is
I'm a Messianic Jew. I'm a Jew. I'm a Messianic Jew. I believe in Christ, but I'm a Jew.
Okay.
You know, and I go by the 10 Commandments.
Shabbat Shalom. Do you know any Hebrew?
No, but I know Shabbat Shalom. I know what that is.
I know a little Hoyt. I know a little Hebrew.
Because I'm a Jew doesn't mean I have to know Hebrew.
Well, no, but some Jews know Hebrew.
You give me some sandpaper, I can tell you what it says.
I did not grow up a Jew. I grew up in Presbyterian church and I went to Pentecostal church. And then I decided to be a Messianic Jew. I believe in the Old Testament. I believe in the New. There's nothing to be argued about here. There's nothing at all, you know.
Well, no, because even if you break the 10 Commandments,
who's that?
All 10 of them, and there's a few that I've broken more than once.
Oh, you are a very bad man.
I've
You
repented.
break a 10 commandment,
And
you're
I've
very
been
I'm
bad.
saved by the
forgiven,
blood of
and
Jesus.
that's
You need
all
to,
you can
you
do.
need to, you
Amen.
need to ask Jesus to be your personal savior and come
I
into your
still,
heart.
if there's a commandment that the original 10, like just say from Friday night at sundown till Saturday night sundown, that's the Sabbath. And I can't always, especially when I was playing in bands. I could, I go do a gig. I got to work, but I would always try to, observe the Sabbath because that's one of the 10 commandments, And I know there's a whole ton of arguments and everything, but I just look at it like this. I feel like if Jonah was in the belly of a whale for 3 days and Jonah was in the belly of a whale for 3 days, I'm one of those guys, So I believe in the New Testament and the Old Testament hand in hand. So there it is. I was not born a Jew, but I relate to being a Messianic Jew, a Jew who believes in Christ. Does that make sense? And then I will try to explain this, and people will attack me. I don't mean you guys, but I do get attacked sometimes. I'm like, hold on a minute.
Happy, and I know it. I do not know who that guy was that came in last night. He was a good friend of mine, but he just come in randomly. He just come in all the time.
I just believe in the Bible, man,
He
and
just
the
come in
whole
and raid me
thing,
all
man.
the time.
The old
Do
and the
not know
new, I
who
believe
he
in it all. So, come on, man. Give me a break.
Right now,
When you go up and you're ready to be judged by the Almighty, the Almighty
call
is
me
not going to
Lamangelo.
judge you just on your actions and your inactions. He's also going to judge you by what's in your heart.
Jello. Lamangelo.
You guys are talking over each other.
Jello.
I watch Pastor Robert Breaker on YouTube. That's my pastor now. I don't go to church.
Zach,
My
you
churches are all
ready to go to bed.
Uh-oh. Zach got a hold of some more gummies.
He got a hold of those.
Oh, look at him. He's holding up his gummies. All right.
Little, edible snack of crunchies. And he eat them and make them go to sleep.
He got some cinnamon toast crunchy.
Cinnamon toast crunch.
I had somebody make me Rice Krispies.
Make them feel all
Rice
happy
Krispies.
inside.
Have you ever heard of that?
And on the
THC
outside
Rice
too.
Krispies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, my friend made me a plate of THC Rice Krispies. And I bought the groceries in, and my friend pulled in my driveway. She's like, here, I made these for you, but I got to get to work. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, I put the tray on the stove. And I'm thinking, the dog won't get it because I put the orange juice in front of it.
Does she no
Well, my dog must have said, you know what?
Talk.
Screw my mom's orange juice. She took her paw, took the orange juice, dropped it on the floor. It exploded. And she helped herself to the 3 Rice Krispies.
She's talking about Rice Krispie and orange.
You let your dog get stoned.
I didn't let my dog get stoned. I was outside getting the rest of the food. I put the orange juice in front of the plate, but my dog decided to knock the orange juice down, and she got the plate.
So I got to know, when dogs get high, do they get the munchies too?
She ate.
No,
she ate.
They lay down and they go to sleep.
Thank
and
you,
most oftentimes you have to carry them outside to go to the bathroom, or they'll go to the bathroom right where they lay.
All over the place. And
Yep.
that is a very, very difficult mess.
I've had a lot of people call me up. I don't know what to do. My dog's he's got a hold of a couple of buds.
And get it all in his fur.
Well, she
And
was able. She
get
did
up on
sleep
the couch
for the first 2 hours, and then I woke her up and I put her outside. I didn't have to carry her. I couldn't pick her up anyway. She's 60 pounds.
I love you.
And she's still sleeping.
I love
she
you.
She came back and went right back to bed.
I've had to carry Jilly Bean outside, 120 pounds.
Some people freak out and think their pets are going to die.
Yeah, they're not. It's natural.
Yeah,
but it's not something that's good for them.
No,
you
don't
say it was.
No, you should never. Yeah, that's just horrible. It's no.
Now I do know some dogs that like to take a hit every once in a while.
Oh,
you're taking a hit.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, look, all right, look. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because y'all know me and y'all know that I love freaking Flint, and that's my.
What about my damn
orange? My boy, that is my baby. But I have never gotten him high, not once. Never blown smoke in his face intentionally or anything like that. But I bet you as he gets older, he's gonna be, oh hey dad, you smoking again? Because I mean he's always around it. I'm pretty sure if we go out and go to somewhere else's house and somebody's got it somewhere, he'll be like, hey, you got weed right here, because he's always been around it.
Mm-hmm. My first Baron, all you had to do is say the word bong, and he would run upstairs to my bedroom, open the drawer, pull out the bag of weed, bring it down, drop it at my feet. Then he would run upstairs, grab my pipe, bring it down, lay at my feet.
Nah, damn.
He was, he was something else. Jess can tell you, he was something else. I'm telling you, and it wasn't because he wanted any, but this was the bad part, was that my friends knew about this trick, so they would come over and they say, "Hey, Hawk, you got any weed?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm out. I'm out. I don't have any." And I'd go in the kitchen to make some coffee, and they'd look at Baron and say, "Bong." And that dog would take off and go right up to my sock drawer, open it up, move the socks, grab my bag of weed, and bring it down and drop it at their feet. Hey, I thought you said you didn't have any weed, so this must not be yours.
That's great, man. Go ahead, Zach. You got something, brother?
I guess I'll just take the gummy tonight because I can't open the Ziploc.
Just take the gummy then. That's fine. Take the gummy then. The gummy's probably going to put you on your rear end, though, won't it? No, it's not.
What kind of gummies is it? Sativa or is it like indica? Do you know, Zach?
It make me feel all good inside. That's what kind of gummy it is.
Well, they do make sativa gummies.
He said, it make me feel good inside. It make me all high. I get all stoned.
My friend just tried to sell me the kind that's 50 and 50, half sativa, half indica, and I'm like, what?
That is called a hybrid.
Yeah.
Well, the 50/50s are great for daytime.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to sleep. I'll buy some from him, but my thing is I don't need to be sleeping during the day.
Well, no, that's why I like the 50/50s. The 50/50s keeps the anxiety levels down, and at the same time allows you to keep functioning. A lot of the daytime use that I have, I use the strain called Wonder Dog. It's 15% CBD, 20% THC. Allows me to be able to work all day, be able to function, be able to operate a tractor, forklift, backhoe, whatever. Here on the farm and not have to, worry about, falling asleep in the cab or being so high that I can't do anything. Yeah. He's related to Ray.
Zach, you got something?
That's Ray Charles is,
Fist bump at Yorga. Down here. Here. Fist bump me.
Hold up, Zach, go ahead and say something. I cannot see you,
Fist
but I
bump
can
it.
sense that you need
There
something
you go,
to say.
buddy. I love you.
I just don't look right, Michelle.
Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Christina.
5 milligrams THC.
5 milligrams of THC, baby.
That's nice, Zach.
I heard him, but I cannot see him.
Good evening, Christina.
I'm not here.
Who said that?
Good evening to the woman that's not here.
She's not here, Christina.
Hello. Good to see everybody.
Well, if you're not here, where are you?
Shall not mention.
Wouldn't you like to know, Fat Man?
Oh,
actually, yeah,
talking to
because
me?
I'd like to avoid that place.
Go fuck yourself, Fat Man.
I've tried. It's not as fun as you think it is.
Hawk, it's very good to see you.
Very good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see a likeness of you.
That works. Zach, I see you. I see you, Zach. I'm tardy for the party.
She had to go to sleep, but she's been sleeping for a long time.
Zach, she sees you, but she ain't here.
This is because she has blind. Holy cow, it's too.
Yeah, it's only her likeness that is present. It's not really her.
She not there.
See, Hawk understands. He knows.
Hawk knows.
It's
Hawk knows
what they
everything.
call
He's
a
very smart
reasonable.
man. He's very
It's a
intelligent.
reasonable
Very smart.
facsimile of Christina.
He know his shit.
Eat it, Zach. Eat it. Eat it. Ow.
Just eat it.
Let me
eat
tell
it,
y'all
eat it.
something about Hawk. I watched a Hawk for a very long time. He probably have a spoon right there. He knows 6 way kill you with a spoon. Told you. Told you.
He
And he
also
muted.
know a lot
So we're
about
gonna have to repeat the
Confucius.
whole thing he just said again.
Hawks say men who go to bed with itchy
I
butt
told y'all,
wake
man.
up with
I told you
stinky
you was.
finger.
Yeah, I know. You know why? You want to know why I know? Because my stepdad was a Marine, and he knows the sick. He knows the same
There you
thing.
go. He had this shit, and did it? Yeah, he did.
He was in Desert Storm.
Talking about false valor, baby.
He was demolition.
10 for 5. Yeah. It's
And my cousin, he was a mortar man. He says that his job was I pull string, gun goes boom. He said that's what his job was.
yeah.
Good
See, I was
job.
artillery, and we had a cord as well.
he was
Yeah.
artillery.
It was worked 195 and 198 howitzers. Then about 5 years after that, then started working the 777s, and did that for many years.
And my best friend's son, he is getting ready to retire from the Marines. He's been in there for about 20 years now. But yeah, he's pretty high up there too.
Hawk, let me
It's
ask you a
funny.
question.
I used to hear people complain about cleaning their rifles. I'm like, it's they're talking about an M16 A2 service rifle, this big, and we drive out by the artillery range or where the howitzer were housed and say, yeah, that's what I have to clean. So I don't want to hear you bitching about cleaning that little itty bitty rifle when I got to clean this friggin' howitzer.
Chuck,
Go ahead,
I got a question
Georgia,
for you. I'm sorry, I got a question for you though. And I don't know a whole lot about. My father was a fighter pilot. I know about guns and 50 millimeter or whatever. But as far as artillery pieces, I was always fascinated with the German 88 millimeter. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
This thing was anti-personnel, anti-tank, anti-ship, anti-plane, anti-everything. My old man got one through his wing. It was one of those flak things. It was going to come up and blow into flak, but it didn't detonate. And it went right through his wing. We have pictures of it, of 88 millimeter coming right through his wing. Not of it happening, but the hole in the wing.
Yeah, it's about a 14-inch projectile.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was believe it or not, the license plates on my Corvette, I put 88 mm. Just because that one piece. And wait, real quick, when tanks would come up in World War II, tanks would come up and you'd think they'd be frightened of other tanks. Oh shit, no. If they saw those 88 millimeters, they were like, oh, we're dead. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna let you the 88 millimeter.
So the 88s were basically anti-aircraft, anti-tank.
Everything, man.
Yeah,
they put them on the submarines, didn't they? Didn't they put them on the?
Well, they had them on the decks of. They had them on the deck. Well, they didn't have them on submarines. They had them on destroyers. And they also had mountables for aircraft carriers as well, so that they could aircraft carriers could protect the planes while they were taking off.
That was a bad bitch. That 88 would scare you to death, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You guys are great. You guys are crazy.
I thought you'd have more to say about it, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Go right, man. I learned stuff. I learned stuff. Okay. I right now I'm in the learning mode. So go teach. I like to learn, I watch Hawk a lot. I know a lot of shit now.
The 88 was one of those guns that you towed it around with a truck, and then put it down, and then you do all this, dial it in and do all your mathematics and everything, and kabloosh, man. I mean, it was like worse than a tank, man. Way worse.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
let me know.
They had a bunch of them that smaller ones that were mounted onto like 5 ton trucks.
Okay.
And then they had them. They had even smaller ones that were mounted onto Jeeps. And basically they were used to, the planes would come over, especially during the Japanese side of World War II. It was you got to remember that when during World War II, the regular tanks didn't have to worry about having to cut through brush or jungle. They could just roll right over everything. But when it came to the Japanese part of it, they had to cut through
because they had
jungle.
those Sherman tanks that weren't worth
Yep,
a
and then they put these special blades on the front of the tanks so that when they were going through, these blades were actually cutting the jungle in front of them as they're going along, because they would get bogged down and tied up in there and wouldn't be able to move. So yeah, there's a lot of different things in it. Howitzers, during that period of time, you didn't have any self-propelled until the Vietnam War. They began to have the self-propelled howitzers. Everything was a tow behind. It had to be pulled by a minimum of 5-ton vehicle, and then you had to have 2 support 5-ton vehicles, one for carrying powder and the powder charges, which are basically like logs of small logs of powder bagged, and then you had to have your shells. So yeah, that's a lot of weight to carry around. In Desert Storm, that wasn't a pretty sight. In the desert, when you're used to driving on dirt roads or mountain roads or concrete, to go from that to driving on sand, that's it makes it extremely difficult.
Do you know and I know you do, what a V1, well, not the V2, but the V1 buzz bomb, it was like the first cruise missile.
Yep.
My old man shot one of those fuckers down over England. Yeah. And we still have pieces of it. He went to the crash site and we got pieces of it. Because they came in slow and they were like going poop, 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 poop. And he was just going out on a patrol in a P-47 and saw that fucking thing and said, fucking, and shot it down, man. Yeah. A V1 buzz bomb.
Yeah, you can't do that with missiles nowadays.
They was the first one, but the V2 would go into outer space and come down. There's no way you're shooting that bitch.
Yep.
Down.
Yeah, because you didn't know what trajectory it was going to come in at. So that was the reason of Star Wars was the Star Wars program was designed to deal with all different types of missile, and it's basically the Iron Dome.
Anything that's re-entry, you're not going to shoot that bitch.
Oh, think of the rods of God. If the rods of God were ever used, you're talking about a steel beam being dropped from the highest height that you can imagine, coming down, and it's a non-nuclear explosion, but when it comes down with a force that creates a full crater and everything, wipes, damages circumference is pretty large.
You want to see something kind of cool? I've got a bunch of World War II stuff in here, you can see, but real quick, I don't know if you can see. Can you see that latch right there?
Yep.
Parachute chest strap buckle.
Yep.
Salvaged as a souvenir. He got shot down, and that was part of his parachute, and he saved that buckle. If it weren't for that buckle, if that thing had failed, there would be no Count Yorga right now, baby.
So we thank that buckle. Thank you, buckle.
Thank you, buckle.
Go ahead, Zach.
I got all kinds of cool shit in here. Got the freaking armaments and all that stuff. He flew P-40s. Yeah, man. All that shit. Anyway, sorry, but I just thought you might think that was interesting. It's kind of cool.
Go ahead, Zach.
Miguel, it actually takes 30 minutes to kick in.
All right,
but he's feeling good with anticipation.
We got 30 minutes to party, baby.
Yeah. It's a what was that Heinz commercial? Anticipation.
Anticipation. Carly Simon.
Yeah, that was the Heinz commercial for what, about 15 years, and then all of a sudden that kind of just went away.
Yeah, and it would show the ketchup bottle like you're just waiting for that
Yep.
shit to come dropping out, man. And finally it would
And now it's a squeeze bottle, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was you're right. It was a glass bottle. You couldn't squeeze it. You shake it.
Get out of there.
They had a bunch of funny commercials back then.
Patrick, all the lovers started fighting, so that kind of went out the window. He says, "Whatever happened to make love, not war?" They started fighting.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know about the shortage containers? Like on different like oceans, they're just sitting there. Have you heard about that? Just sitting there, just standing still.
The cargo ships, yeah, I've heard about them.
Because I've had someone come on my channel and start an argument, and I had to kick him off the panel last night. Because I also shared an article of them also shipping containers that are actually on ground, also not going nowhere. That's what's causing all this stuff at the grocery store shortages.
You're talking about all the shipyards that are filled with the containers that
right.
Yeah.
But also in the ocean too, I've heard cargo ships too filled with shipping containers.
Yeah, there were a bunch of videos of especially off the California coast where there were lines of cargo ships just going back and forth, waiting to get a berth to offload at.
Because I went to 7 different stores. They're short, even meat is a shortage here in New York, and then my friend in Pennsylvania said they're noticing shortage on meat too. Not just
and you know
food.
what, Michelle? Even I will splurge on meat every couple of weeks. I'll get I want a steak. It ain't worth a shit. Even when I
some of it's all fatty.
Money. No, it's like a lower quality of everything now. That sucks, man.
Hamburger too.
Hamburger too,
That is
man.
true.
You pay more for it because you just like, all right, I want some, and then you cook it
on the bottle. You tap it, it makes the ketchup come out better. That is true.
Really?
Yes, that is actually true.
I'm gonna have to remember that.
What do you think about the ketchup?
Yeah, Hawk, I was wondering if you watched those videos because I was watching them too, and I'm not surprised because wasn't it something that Joe Biden did undo what Trump did? I heard that's causing that.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of things. A lot of it had to do with the sanctions that we had on China, and stuff as well. But the fact of the matter is that this whole medical scenario that's gone on for the last 2 years, that's had a lot to do with it too. Because you think about the amount of what do you call the guys who longshoremen, who would generally be loading and offloading those things when you're understaffed and everything else. That's a lot of work. That's if you think about how much it takes to have all these big ships come in, and some of them have anywhere between 50 to 500 of those cargo containers that need to be lifted up off of them and everything. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
Shortage. I'm talking about short people. That's not very nice. Not very nice talking about short people.
Remember that song, Short People? Yeah. Short people got no reason.
What was that guy's name?
My grandfather used to sing it.
I don't remember who it was that sang it, but it was
something. Randy Newman. Randy Newman. He was a LA Session dude, and that was the worst song in the world. But somehow or another, it became a hit. And it was horrible. I thought. Yeah, Randy Newman.
Yeah, Clayton. Yeah, that's correct. It's not just in the United States. It's worldwide. We got ships that have been out there for, and the thing is if you think about how much fuel they carry, and then you think about how much food they carry, just for the crew by themselves. Do you think that they have not been opening them containers to find out if there's food in those containers or not?
Yeah, no shit.
And,
That's
food
what's been
spoiling and
getting
going
me,
bad.
Hawk, I agree, because it's been months. If you take a normal ship that's a business, it's going from point A to point B. You have to fill it with food. You got to fill it with product. You got to unload product. You got to fill it with product again. Fill it with more food. Blah blah blah. It's a business, and then just to stall it out it's like I don't know. Apollo 13 has got to circle the Earth for like a year before you can come back in. You're going to run out of resources between fuel and food and morale and all that shit, man. Those guys must be going crazy out there.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
Well, hey family, I'm going to go to bed. Have a great night, and I love you all.
On that thought,
he's like,
All
I'm
right,
not letting you
brother.
guys see me on this gummy.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, Zach. I'm getting ready to end here in a little bit too, man, because it's getting late. It's like 2:30 here over here on the East Coast. I know it's all out on the West Coast, but it's late over here for us on the East Coast.
Zachy, baby, we love you.
Yeah. Good night, Zach. Have a good one, brother. Love you, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Have a good night, brother.
That's not.
Good night.
The United Nations is about over. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I try not to buy shit from China. Well, everything's from fucking China now.
Everything's from China. And what do you do, man?
Fucking China.
What do you fucking do, man?
It's funny because, there's all those trucks that are sitting there in the manufacturing, or the factories that are ready to be shipped out, but can't be shipped out because of one little computer chip from guess where?
That doesn't make any damn sense. And can I say something else? We go to, and I don't want to get real political, but we go to the war in Ukraine, and 2 different times they've said there's 40-mile backups of Russian military vehicles trying to get in. That's when you go attack those fuckers. Are you kidding me? That's when you come in with your fighter planes or your fighter bombers and go blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're all lined up for 40 miles out there, just waiting to come in. And twice they've done that. And
Zach, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
By the way, just to let everyone know that I'm going live tomorrow. We decided to take Saturday off now to help Hawk.
Yep. We're helping Hawk with pray-a-thons on Saturday nights now. So now I'm doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday because I'm off on Monday and Tuesdays. Zach is doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we are taking Saturdays off now. So Saturdays we are going to be helping with pray-a-thon and going over there and stuff.
Good. That's a Sabbath.
Thank you.
That's a true Sabbath. Yep. Good for you.
Yep.
The idea of this, there's so much going on that, people, where 2 or more gathered in my name, I will be there, and when you got 200 people together praying for the exact same thing, for a person, it helps. It helps a lot. There's so many people come in and they'll do what's called a praise report. Basically, saying, thank you for, all of you for praying for me. This is what happened after the prayer. The person, maybe the person was sick and they got better. Maybe the person needed a job, they got the job. It's just, people working together as a collective to, further, the proper goals for people and to achieve things. So Zach, get to bed, young man. Love you, brother. You have a good night. Get some good rest. All right.
Take your ass to bed, my friend.
All right, Clayton. Hold on one second. Hold on, Clayton. A nice girl, BB Truth, is live on her second channel now. Lost her main one. She needs a room raid. So I've got, well, okay, room raids are bad because that helps bring in trolls, Clayton. But what we can do is if you drop her link in there, eventually we can all go over there. We can sub to her. We can help her out, you know, and we can start watching her. But going over there and doing love raids and everything, and this is from what I've been taught from algorithms, is it pops in trash algorithms and Russian bots and everything like that will start spamming her thing if we jump in there and then jump right out. So, you know, I'd love to help her out. Yes, let's help her out. Let's help her out and get her truth out there. But just pop her link in there and we can go and subscribe and not try to hit her up with bots and everything like that. But I'm all for helping her out. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Does he have a wrench to be able to drop a link?
Who said that? It was Clayton.
Clayton.
Right? I think, yeah, Clayton's wrench. Yeah, Clayton's got a wrench. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Clayton. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. You know this channel. I'll definitely promote them and tell them to help them get them out there, help them get them up. You guys go
Yeah,
over there.
I tell people in my chat too, you know, yeah, you can feel free to drop links to, you know, to people's channels and things like that. The only thing that I ask is that when we're doing a live and, you know, that, and we're like, we got an hour left or 2 hours left, you know, go ahead, drop the link and everything. But, you know, don't be telling people to rush off to there because, you know, maybe there's part of the message that is coming up that they need to hear, you know, so. That's just a respect thing, you know, that's respecting. And I appreciate how you actually put that in, Clayton, you know, that was a good way to introduce her to us, you know, and you're not telling people to drop Jeremy right this second and rush over there. You're saying, hey, you know, it's after this is done, you know, here's something to check out too. You know, I like that. That was a cool way to do that.
Yes, and thank you very much, Clayton. And oh no, it's okay. Well, that's cool, Clayton. But yeah, we will. If somebody out there, I know, will find her, and you know they'll get us out. You know they'll get her up there and drop her link. But yeah, like you know, Hawk said, you know, we're getting ready to end here. So yeah, absolutely, you guys can drop the links like that, and we're getting ready to end anyway because Rescue should be getting ready to go live here.
I'm going live for a little bit too because I got to make a hat anyway.
There you go. Michelle's getting ready to go live. We got Rescue getting ready to go live here in like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, give or take. So, there you go. Christina, thank you very much. There you go, guys.
Yeah, right on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina. She is on top of it. So, guys, go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for BB Truth and get her out there, and we'll get her message sent out and help, you know, spread the truth like we always do. Chat, I love y'all. Thank you guys very much for being here tonight. Hawk, thank you very much. And panel,
thanks for
being
having me, man.
here with me tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bella, thank you. There's Rescue's birthday bash. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to Rescue.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yep. I'll have to pop over and say happy birthday to
Yeah,
him.
we'll go over there and give him a happy birthday to him. But yes, guys, thank you very much. You know, like I said, some nights we goof off, some nights I like to drop the truth bomb. And I don't know, something that came across me today, that video, it came across me today. I was sharing with Zach and just something was just telling me, put it out there, put it out there.
It's a great conversation. It was a very good conversation. Even with the trolls, you know, it was still a good conversation. You know, it's because you know, it's the idea that these are things that are happening. And the more that it is exposed by, you know, by people who give a damn, the more other people that give a damn become involved, and they start looking at it and they start having conversations about it, you know. So props to you for bringing it up. You know, I played Allie's videos quite a few times on my channel. You know, different interviews that she had done. You know, God's working through that girl right now. You know, trying to save others, and you know, that's part of the patriotism, you know, that we're searching for, that we're looking for, that we're grasping onto, is the protection of our children, our young adolescents, you know, and being able to have a voice that is protecting them, you know, and sometimes a voice is not enough. But if you get enough people standing up, then law enforcement actually has to start doing something about it.
Yes.
You know, it's, you know, and our voices are what makes that happen. And the initiatives that we put through, you know, through whether it's through legal means or whatever, we've got to do it. So, but thanks a lot for having me.
No problem,
You know,
guys.
thanks, chat.
Be sure you guys like, share, subscribe, hit notification bell so you know when all of us on the panel go live. And of course, down at the bottom is Zach's PayPal information and Cash App. Let's help him out with the channel. And you know, this stuff isn't free. It helps him get the channel and keep it going, so we can keep on spreading the truth out there. With that being said, the only thing left I got left to say, guys, is God bless. Have a wonderful evening, and bye.